Get ready to dive into a world where empires stand on the brink of war and terrible monsters tear at the fragile borderlands of men. The Adventurer-Conqueror King System Imperial Imprint, or as we like to call it, Acts 2, is now live on Kickstarter. Acts 2 is the new edition of the acclaimed best-selling fantasy role-playing game. You'll find everything you need to enjoy epic fantasy campaigns with a sweeping scope. Whether you want to crawl through dungeons, experiment with alchemy, crossbreed monsters, run a merchant emporium, raise an undead legion, or even conquer an empire, Acts 2 supports your playstyle. Acts 2 integrates experience point mechanics, making campaign activities a seamless part of the core gameplay loop. Your character levels up in new and exciting ways each time you play, adding massive replayability to each of your adventures. Acts 2 offers 18 character classes, 378 spells, new combat mechanics, and so much more. Support Acts 2 on Kickstarter today.
Giant or somewhere in between. Round the table with your friends, playing Dungeons and Dragons. And if life ever knocks you down, your dice will surely turn around. Roll your stats, it's time to quest. Let's put your characters to the test.
Hello and welcome to Knocked Prone. My name is Cade and I'm the host and dungeon master of this Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition adventure, and I am joined here by the player
Brooklyn playing Litsea.
Awesome. So last session we left off with Litsea walking into this electrified field where she saw her aunt Raven standing on the other side, also accompanied by Mama Sherry, who was also going in to discuss with Raven. And we wanted to do a little one-shot special episode, since Litsea hasn't even had one of those this season yet, to get to know her storyline better and to be able to more put a spotlight on this conversation that she's having with her aunt. You enter into this room and it is massive on the inside. Like, there are plenty of herbs and random witchy ingredients strewn about, potions that are bubbling, and a large cauldron in the middle of the room. You see your Aunt Raven is sitting in this cauldron, this giant cauldron that's in the middle of the room, and she is nonchalantly sprinkling various herbs and such, and she makes eye contact with you and with Mama Sherry as you enter, and she glides over in this cauldron, the cauldron lifting a few feet off of the ground, approaching you in some sort of magical way, and she embraces you if you allow it.
I will allow her to hug me, but I'm not hugging her back.
So as her skin touches yours, she's got a very blue-gray complexion. As she enters this embrace with you, you notice that her pale blue-gray skin is ice cold to the touch. And you remember her being a Buer hag, which is basically an ice hag, whereas you are a crimson hag, which is a fire hag.
Does she let go of me? Is it a relatively short hug?
It's a relatively short... It's a very strong hug at first, but after a while she'll give you like the double pat of like the ending of a hug, and then she will distance herself a little bit and say, "Litsea, it's so good to see you."
As soon as I saw her when I entered the room, I was going to try my best to play off as like cool and confident as possible, but the hug totally threw me off. So now I'm acting terribly awkward as I try to like regather my thoughts and my plans. I'm going to kind of just walk around the room, kind of make a circle around her a little bit, and put my hands in my pockets and say, "Well, it took me a lot longer than I thought to find you."
I'm very happy that you're here, though. You were able to walk through that wall so easily. As she continues to talk, she was kind of facing in an odd way towards you, but as you see her fully in the light as you walk around this room, you do notice that half of her body is overtaken by this orange and black striped fur that has completely overtaken her. She looks half tiger.
I'm going to glance down at the tiger half and say, "Is that a stylistic choice?"
Oh, my dear, no. As a hag, I'm in the business of making deals, and I made a deal with a fairly powerful demon who offered me part of his soul if I assist him in certain ways, and it's given me power. And as she says power, she will like shakily put her hands on the side of the cauldron that she floated towards you with and attempt to stand, and very, very slowly will be able to get to her feet. But as the other half, the non-tiger half, exits the cauldron, you notice that her leg is frail. Like one half of the bottom right-hand quarter of her body is like completely shriveling away. She looks old and sickly.
Okay. I've got to say I'm a little bit surprised that you seem so eager to see me. You must know I'm not much of a fan of you.
Oh, well, misinformation strews enemies, but I'm here to set the record straight if you'd like.
I would be interested to hear anything you have to say that might reconcile the things I've heard about you.
Well, what do you know? What have you heard? She folds her arms and sits back down into her cauldron. You could tell that it was very much of a strain for her to be able to stand like she was. And she like goes back into this potion that she's concocting in this cauldron that she is sitting in.
Did I know why she killed my mother?
No.
Do we talk about that at all?
Your father told you jealousy.
Okay. Let's start with the demise of my mother.
Right.
Need I say more?
I had my reasons. You, in fact, were my reason for the, as you say, demise of your mother. Your mother, Mama Sherry, and I were sisters, and we obviously grew up underneath a tutelage of an arch-witch. The arch-witch was named Igwilv, better known as Tasha. I'm sure you've heard legend.
Oh, absolutely.
We are descendants of this great witch, Tasha, and your mother was strong. She was probably the strongest of us with her Crimson Hag nature. And I also had power, as well as Sherry here also had power, but we knew that our power wasn't what Tasha's was, and that we wouldn't amount to Tasha's power. But your mom got close. Things changed when Tasha died. We were all left gifts from Tasha that we thought were gifts at the time that ended up being, well, curses. And something that happened to your mother was she started to slowly slip into this loss of herself, this loss of her mind. And she wanted to take your gift away. She wanted to stop you becoming a hag, to stop your transformation. And she prayed every day at a church that you would be able to come back as a full gnome and not to have to undergo your 13th birthday. Yet here you are.
So, my mother, not wanting me to become a hag, was reason enough for you to kill her.
You must understand that I am a hag, and your mother is a hag. Since you are a half-hag, the part of me that is connected to you would have been lost. Raven will shape change into her form of Adelina. Her half will turn into this dragonborn form. And she'll look at you and say, we've met before, obviously underneath different circumstances, but I had to see you. I wanted to see you, and so I came to you as soon as you came to my plane, but Great Grimbopolis kicked out the Dragonborn people, and I was disguised as a Dragonborn, and your mother was disguised as a gnome. Her taking away your hag form let me know that I would never see you again, and I care too much to not see you again.
You think I'll have pity on you for killing my mother, for lying to me and my friends, messing with our emotions, and who knows what you've been doing in the Feywild. Clearly, there are things going wrong here, and you seem to be at the center of it.
I don't claim to be somebody that you should idolize. I don't think that my decision-making in the past was perfect, though what matters to me is that I am here with you, and if you don't want to see me after this, fine. But I needed to see you. I needed to make you my offer, to do the thing that your mother, to offer you the thing that I offered your mother so many years ago, that she denied me. your mother and I were part of a hag coven with Mama Sherry here. And Mama Sherry, she's really taken aback by everything that's happening. She's a little ashen in the face, more so than usual, dumbfounded as to where she is. Raven continues by saying, your mother, Sherry, and I were part of a coven. I followed your mother when I heard she was going to the material plane. I didn't want to be without your mother. Me and your mother were best friends. And then she married Harold, which changed her bit by bit. But I stayed with her as a guardian to make sure that her Crimson Hag nature didn't burn down this budding civilization of Grumbopolis. And when I heard that she was pregnant, I was elated. I was so happy to hear that the lineage of Tasha would continue. For I was not as lucky to have had an heir to be given to me, nor do I have the opportunity of an heir to be given to me. As you can see, the bottom portion of my body is, well, in its current state, imperfect.
Litsea is growing immensely impatient. While Raven was talking, she faced away towards the wall, and as her barbarian and hag rage grows inside her, she is going to prepare Scorching Ray as pretty much just a threat and as a natural reaction to how she's feeling, and then turn back around to Raven and say, I'm tired of these pathetic excuses. None of this makes what you did okay. I am not your friend, and you might care about me, but I do not care about you.
So Raven, as she notices this really big swing in mood in the room, she's going to, this wicked smile is going to appear across her face. And as she sees, the flames start to form in your hand, she goes, oh, you don't know your limitations yet. She'll pull out just a small razor and do a little slice along her palm, squeeze it, and a trickle of blood will fall out of her hand, and it will send you into your Crimson Blood Madness.
I rolled a 5.
So as you roll a 5 on this Blood Madness table, all of your party members seem to have appeared into this room. Tess, Lakir, Torin, Jack, and they appear to be brutally murdered corpses. Raven is going to wave a bunch of runes in the air, and then I'm going to need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
That's a 5.
With a 5, unfortunately that doesn't pass. You are going to get force pushed in through this wall on the west side of the room. You came in through the north side, and you appear in this mushroom, this very lush, very springy mushroom garden. It's very out of place since you're in the winter court, and the wall will seal up behind Raven. Her face will essentially form out of the bricks of the wall that you just came through, and she will say, now if we could please get a hold of ourselves.
So I just saw hallucinated, not that I know that.
Right.
All my friends brutally murdered
At your feet.
in that room, and then was shoved into another room.
Yep.
So I'm gonna freak out. There's nobody in this room, right?
No, there's no doors in this room. So the portal that leads to this room is currently in the central room that Lakir left it in last session, and the only way in or out was through this electrified wall that Raven has put up. But the electrified wall seems to stop crackling as you have entered into your Blood Madness state, and it seems that Raven is not calling you in.
I am just going to start violently tearing this room apart. Absolutely anything I can find.
So it's a garden. It's like
Yeah.
a walled off garden.
Yeah. So the dirt, anything, plants,
There
anything
are
that I see, supplies,
Mushrooms basically poking everywhere out of the ground.
I'm shoving my hands 4 feet deep in the ground and just throwing dirt up in the air. I look like an absolute rabid animal right now. I would love to be able to roll to see, because Litsy's getting familiar with her her Blood Madness state, and I want to know if logically, I know what I saw was a hallucination with my friends being dead, or if I really feel like it was real.
Yeah. Roll me a wisdom save.
19.
19. Okay, yeah. So as you are pushed into this next room, the visions of blood and madness fade from your brain, and you kind of you're able to control your blood madness better than you have ever before. And so when you see your friends laying there dead, you have this moment of freak out, and then you realize that was in my head. I'm okay.
Okay.
And then your blood madness seems to subside greatly. You seem to be very in control of your Crimson Hag form.
Okay, that is good for me, because that vastly would have changed my behavior.
Honestly, that was a very interesting blood madness one to roll.
Yeah, seriously.
Out of our D12.
Seriously, that was crazy. I'm also going to be talking to Raven still.
Okay.
So I'm just screaming, How dare you try to offer me anything, think that I'm willing to converse with you, think that I'd be willing to collaborate with someone like you.
I was trying to tell you, this is how your mother was. Always so eager to jump the gun when she doesn't even know the whole story. When she didn't know what was actually happening. You assumed the worst of me, yet you have not heard what I offer.
Well, now's the time. It's now or never, because as soon as I find a way out of this room, I'm never seeing you again.
I want what's best for you, Litsea. I want to give you my power to do what you want with it. I don't want you to be shackled to me, in a sense. I want you to be able to make your own free will with my power, to do what you want to do, to help your friends, to help Mama Sherry with everyone's goals could be met through us. But you just have to trust me. And if you can't trust me, why are you here? Why did you come to try and find me? Did you want to kill me?
I'm going to pause my tantrum to take a breath, catch my breath a little bit, turn back to her face on the wall, and I'll say, I have absolutely no reason to trust you. And I know hags like making deals. You know what me and my friends need to accomplish. If you want to strike a deal with me, it better be good.
The power of 3 different hags making one single coven is greater than any other type of hag. I have the power of ice, you have fire, Mama Sherry has lightning. We can harness the chaos from purple goop to create new life, to create new matter through a coven. I want you to lead that coven. I am not in the able body anymore that can continue to harness the power that is within myself. I need an heir. I need someone to take this power from me to continue to finish what the Hag Coven started. And whether that deal requires me promising you all of the Dragonborn back, promising you and Mama Sherry all new bodies for her children, promising Jack some semblance of immortality, and providing your friend Tess with curing him of his disease that is within his body. I can make whatever deal you want. All I'm asking is that you take my power and you take the coven with you and go and deal with Amalek. Dethrone him. Kill him if you need. But all I will require is for you to do the things that I know your party. I've been watching you. I have fortune-telling powers. I'm a divination caster. I have seen into the future, and I've seen into your past to be able to know what you want. And what you want and what I want cross in so many ways that you not taking this deal would be foolish.
I'm going to actually approach Raven's face on the wall and get up right up close to her. If you strike a deal with me, it's only fair that I know all the rules. So, exactly what would joining a coven with you entail, and where is my loss?
Joining a coven with me would provide you more spells, more spell slots, opportunities to cast using your hag powers, you would gain my power as well as Mama Sherry's power through a sisterly bond, a family bloodline bond that we would share in our coven. You would rule. You would be the head person. Need I say more? Roll me an insight.
15.
She stutters her words a little bit at the end when she says, need I say more? She seems to be withholding maybe just the slightest bit of information.
I understand that joining a coven brings you, me, and Mama Sherry additional power. But I still don't understand why you would offer me so much when I know there are hags all over. So tell me, explain to me in detail what's in it for you.
Tasha, we are descendants of Tasha. And Tasha was the greatest witch of her time. Now, I would like to create within you power that has the potential of reaching what Tasha once was. And whether that means giving up all of my power, then so be it. Your Crimson Hag abilities far surpass a Green Hag or a Bwer Hag as myself. You are the missing piece. You have the most potential, but right now you are a spark, and I don't want you to go out. I want to kindle your flame, and whether that means me and Mama Sherry having to give up some of our power in order to provide it to you, I will do it. We will do it. And Mama Sherry's face also comes through the brick for a moment, and she says, if what she says is right, I want it. I want my lost souls to finally have their bodies, and Tasha was great. She was great to me. I know that Raven's not good, but I'm good. And I don't know about you, Litsea, but what I've seen from you is that you are good too. And does 2 good hags outweigh 1 bad hag? Is this source of power the thing that's going to bring the most good into the world? I think that's something that you need to decide.
I narrow my gaze at Mama Sherry as some of what she said clicks with me, but not all of it. Although, in general, Litsea is a fan of Mama Sherry as a person, as a hag.
Right.
Would joining this coven put you in any kind of control over me?
I want to give you my control. I want to become a perfect person that Tasha once was.
So you won't have any control of your own. I boss you around for the rest of your life?
Exactly.
Lizzie's feeling very conflicted because obviously this sounds like a good deal. Obviously deals that are too good to be true, especially by hags, are probably too good to be true. Yeah. Well, but the other side of this is that Litsea is by herself and she knows that Raven is much more powerful than her, so she's feeling backed into a corner a little bit, even though this deal is intriguing her. Can I maybe make a roll to see if she appears to be lying about me being in control? Because that's definitely like the best side of this deal.
You can roll me an insight if you'd like.
Gladly. 17.
Ooh, okay. With a 17, you are able to tell that this deal that she's offering you will give you the majority of control over yourself. It will even give you a little bit, it seems that she is implying that it will even give you a little more control during your hag forms. However, you will have a piece of Mama Sherry and Raven inside of you. It just won't be predominating over Litsea. You would lead our coven. You would be the next Tasha. And Tasha the Great would have an air of Litsea.
I know covens can be known to be self-destructive, and I just want you to know that if this deal isn't what I want it to be, I will not hesitate to burn it from the inside out and make sure you go down with it.
I understand that. And we are family. And though that hasn't meant anything for the past few years, I do intend to keep my promises as they are stated.
We may be family, but we'll never be friends. And I'm going to walk confidently towards the wall as if it will accept me again, as it did the first time, because I am now willing to make this deal.
With your intentions seemingly change, your blood madness under control, you are able to freely walk through this wall, and you see Raven smiling at you with bandaged up arm outraised towards you to shake, seemingly a pact forming handshake. Do we have a deal? A leader of our hag coven, under your own control, but having the powers with you, becoming this beacon of potential to encapsulate what Tasha once gave us.
I will give her a cold stone stare in the eyes and shake her hand.
Okay. As you shake her hand, light starts to flitter around Mama Sherry, and a vortex encapsulates Mama Sherry for a second, and she disappears. Now it's just you and Raven standing in this room, and she smiles, and she says, "Before I go, I just wanted you to know, your friend stopped magic for a minute. It caused the time in your world to jump by a month. You've lost time. You are behind in this fight. And I have so much more that I wish to tell you, but guess you'll learn soon enough." And that same golden energy will vortex around Raven, and it will also encapsulate her. And the energy from both of them will go up into the air and go directly into your stomach. And you are now a full hag coven on your own.
Is that normal for two people to just turn into energy and enter the coven leader's being?
No, it seems that you may have melded a little bit with these two hags.
Okay.
But you feel immensely more powerful. You now have the ability to become ethereal, like Raven did, to just walk through walls, essentially, and to, as if they were nothing. You have several coven spells that I'll have to detail you on later, as well as you have much of the knowledge of Raven and Mama Sherry in your brain.
Can I hear them? Do they talk to me? Do I share their consciousness?
If you'd like to reach out to them, you can.
Do they have I don't know if you can tell me this or not, but do they have access to my thoughts? Do they hear what I'm saying, saying, thinking, doing?
You could roll me a history check to see if you might have known anything about hag covens like that. Like if you saw something maybe in How to Train Your Hag.
11.
It's murky. You don't know.
Okay.
You'll hear Raven's voice kind of try and reach out to you. Will you accept her voice to talk to you for a second?
Yes.
She will say, "Before you go, if you'd like anything in this room, we have that cauldron, though be careful with how you use Tasha's mortar and pestle, is what it's called. We have the Demonomicon that I obtained from your mother before she died. That will make you more brave and immune to many magical effects, but it does have a downside of plants and wildlife dying around you." And then you'll hear Mama Sherry's voice kind of go over her. If you want to go say hi to my kids, that's yours. You hear Raven go, "Oh, right." And she'll snap her fingers, and it seems that she's also now in the process of fulfilling Mama Sherry's portion of the deal with obtaining bodies for these children, these orphans.
It breaks my heart that Mama Sherry had to tie herself to a lifelong coven just to do what she wanted for the children. Because Mama Sherry is not in it for the power.
No, Mama Sherry's the true MVP of this whole podcast.
Honestly, the most wholesome NPC, at least as far as I can tell. She's freaking the best. Okay, can I fit the cauldron in my bag?
Yes. So it's you know what a mortar and pestle looks like, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's like a salsa bowl kind of looking thing with
I just
like
didn't know how big it was.
So it's a massive cauldron.
Yeah.
Though if you issue the command word, which you can now decide what the command word is, since you are the owner of it, it will shrink down into a regular mortar and pestle sized mortar and pestle, and then you could put it in your bag of holding.
Okay. I'm going to have my command word be Raven sucks. I'm going to announce out loud, Raven sucks, and then it's going to pop into my bag.
It'll shrink to the size of a normal mortar and pestle,
Right.
and then go into your bag.
Yes, that's just so Raven is constantly reminded on how I feel about her. And I'll also take the Demonomicon. It's a hard word. Yeah, so I'll put those in my bag. I definitely want Lakir to help me identify them, decurse them, study them with me. Yeah. So with that, I would like to join the party in the main room.
Okay, so you are freely able to walk through walls now as if they were nothing, and you walk through this wall to the north of you. So as you walk through this north wall, you see Torin, and he is at the top of this stairwell that you left him at, alone, next to this statue of a horseman, and down these spiral stairs in the very center of the room, you see the deceased Lakir laying on his back with color drained from his face. And you see an elf, an Eladrin elf, walk up to Lakir, reach for something in his bag, pull out a scroll, say a few incantation spell words, and then disappear.
Wait, who did that?
One of the Eladrin in the room from the party.
Okay.
And as you see the deceased Lakir, these Eladrin start to flit from their state of existence, and their energy seems sucked up and goes out. And what you know to have happened is one of the Eladrin just took Lakir's wish scroll that was in his bag and used it to wish that all of the hag children, their souls, would be able to use the bodies of these Eladrin people as their own bodies.
So that's the least of my concerns.
Yeah.
Right now, but good to know. Oh my.
Torin, not noticing you, is full sprint down the stairs right now towards the deceased Lakir. You are
So
completely...
it seems to have happened just barely?
Just barely.
Okay. I rush to Lakir.
Okay.
I just sprint at him and collapse on the ground and burst into tears. I mean, in a much more emotional sense, I'm entering the same kind of state that I was in the garden room.
Right.
In my flurry of emotions, I'm going to turn to Torin and say, "What happened? Who did this? And where is everybody else?"
They were banished. Raven did this.
Raven did this, and I'm just gonna I'm in an absolute mess right now. I am in real life. I'm trying to process all of this in my messy emotional state. I don't know if I can do this, but did you say that Raven banished them? I am going to be a little compulsive.
Okay.
An attempt to banish me, Torin, and Lakir's body.
Okay.
I've never done this before. I don't know if I can do this, but perhaps I'm gonna try and just scream at the top of my lungs.
Okay. So as you scream at the top of your lungs, this shadowy magic comes out from your body, and these inky tendrils wrap around Torin and Lakir, the dead body of Lakir, and yourself, and you are totally immersed in this shadow for a moment, and this anger is just flowing through you, and you appear right next to Jack and Tess, right outside of Fort Outcast, where you first entered into the Feywild. And I believe that is where we're going to end our session. My name is Cade, and I'm the host and dungeon master of this Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure, and I'm joined here by the players...
Brooklyn playing Litsea.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Remember, if you like our podcast, go over to patreon.com/knocked and check out our awesome rewards. We've been talking about a little revamp of our Patreon, adding even more perks. So be sure you hop on that as soon as possible so that you don't miss out on anything. And we hope that you remember when life knocks you flat on your back, all you got to do is keep rolling, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.